Taste of Dragons Gaming Podcast. We eat sandwiches and play games. Taste of Dragons Gaming Podcast. A podcast for everyone's day.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to yet another episode of Taste of Dragons, the Toddcast, the video game podcast that all you amazing people listen to. And this week, Troy and Manda honor an indie video game legend. The news is catching up. And finally, our tasty topic is back. And we're talking about Sony's version of Game Pass. And as always, my name is Brian.
My name is Troy.
I'm Manda.
And I'm Joe.
Hey, everyone. We're almost all back.
We're like four fingers of a hand.
That's right.
We wanted to build up slowly.
That's right.
Okay.
Yeah, for more dramatic effect.
Levels. We keep it. You never know. Keep it guessing.
Yeah, we can't go from like 1 to 10. You know, we got to go from like 2 to 4.
Yeah. Sorry we couldn't be here last week for the episode, y'all. You all rocked it.
Thank you so much.
I would say.
Appreciate it. Yeah, we also almost didn't make it either.
Oh no.
No.
It would have been our dog Pepper. It would be the entire podcast just slobbering and yipping at the neighbor's dog.
Hey, I'd take 50 minutes of that.
You know
Little
what?
clickety clackety feet.
Me too.
It'd be
Yeah.
cute.
That's not bad. That's not a bad idea.
Just 20 minutes of her talking about how much squirrels are the worst.
Oh my gosh, they're like so up there, and they think they're better than you. They're not better than you.
Look, there's one right now. There's one right now. Look at it. Look at it.
Look at it.
Get out of my lawn! Go! I eat you! No, stop running so fast! I want to eat you!
Their dumb climbing claws.
But yeah, so last week we did, Joe and I, our question that Joe had for us was memorable video game weddings. And so I actually wanted to know if you guys had any memorable video game weddings that you guys know of.
Yeah, I really enjoyed listening to y'all, and some dark picks you all had.
Yeah.
A lot of their weddings involved some type of murder.
You're not wrong, yeah.
And
Cool.
I can save to say that so does mine. But not intentionally, right, Manda? I mean...
Oh, you want to talk about that video game wedding?
Yes. The quintessential, for me, the most video game wedding I've ever experienced.
I'm embarrassed to say it's not the first thing I thought of, but
What was the first thing you thought of?
wasn't even my wedding, but your like Liara marriage for Mass Effect was very cute.
Oh,
Your like
yeah.
soul binding.
Your like pact.
Yeah.
Your promise. Really, you made like
Yeah.
a promise to each other, which
That's
to
right.
me is like the essence of a wedding.
Yeah, the most important part, the
Yeah,
love part.
The love part.
not the dress of the party or the people, or but the I promise to be with you forever part. Yeah.
I remember having that realization with us when after our proposal and like we were in the full wedding mode. Where I think we even like deconstructed it because that's what we do.
we talk about things.
What is a marriage? And then I think I came to that realization. I was like, no, we got married in Jamaica when we proposed. When I asked you, and then you said yes. Like we made that promise to each other. I'm like, that was it. The rest of this marriage is just for show. It's just to bring everyone
Right?
else in.
Right?
It's celebrating the
You already
family
said
and
yes,
everyone.
so-
Yeah.
I'm good.
Yeah, you guys are just showing off at that point that day. Like, hey, look all the stuff that we got together for you guys. Huh?
Look how much we like each other.
So yeah, that's a good point. And I felt that was 3 games leading up to that moment. I guess mine's from Elder Scrolls, and it's not necessarily a thing that the game did. It's not like part of the story. It wasn't written.
It was a game mechanic. We didn't just do this on our own.
That's true.
Yeah.
It wasn't like storied out like Mass Effect where they wrote this really beautiful scene. Instead, Manda and I, we played Elder Scrolls Online. And we were both orcs. So get that in your mind.
All right.
We were both orcs with good armor. She was sneaky and I was hitty. Or smashy.
To give you a little bit of a vision of how we played this game,
Yeah.
is Troy, when we play MMOs, Troy gets in this weird mode where he plays the game,
Yeah.
but he refuses to absorb any of the story. So we'll be like, I'm going over here, and Troy's like, are we killing the camels? And I was like, no, Troy, that was 3 stories ago. We're fighting the vampire lord, and that'll be like, for this reason and that reason. Troy's like, whatever.
Just show me what I got to hit.
I just focus on the mechanics.
So he's
and I just
just
dig into the
the-
mechanics. And I make my own story.
Yeah.
Is
Yeah.
what happens. 'Cause
Okay.
usually there's so much happening. I can't even like keep up with what's going on in the story.
Elder Scrolls is very much like, for 5 minutes, this is the most important thing that's ever happened to this land,
Right.
and then that story's over.
Yeah.
And there's another like catastrophe happening somewhere else.
So anyway, we found out that they have an item in game, which is a wedding ring.
Okay.
That you could, with another real player, You could both buy this ring. It costs real money, I think, but we had like extra points
Yeah, we
from
had
whatever
points from
version
what
we
we
had.
bought.
Oh, okay.
So, and if you guys both wear it at the same time, you will get extra XP and like some other
nice.
like bonus. Like, you know, you don't get hurt as much or something when you're playing together with someone else who's wearing this ring.
Okay.
And we had just gotten married in real life that year. So we were like, well, let's do it. This is dumb. This is great. We bought outfits. I think we both wore tuxes.
Yeah, because the wedding dress was dumb. And I was like, I'm not wearing that. And I had a very nice tuxedo.
Nice.
We went to the temple, and in the temple there's a shrine. There's like a holy man. There's other players, and then a bunch of NPCs, guards, and whatever.
Yeah.
And we got there, and we even like this is so nerdy. I'm kind of embarrassed. We even like faux walked down the aisle.
Yeah.
Like no one's telling us to do this. We're just role playing our giddy dumbness. And
I mean, really, if you're not doing that, what's it even
the
for?
point?
we're
What's
going
the
all
What are
in.
you doing it for?
We're
Yeah.
going all in. We get to the end of the aisle and we're like, all right, let's go into our menu and equip the ring as you would, you know. But then we go to do it and it won't work. And we're like, what? Is it like a weird mechanic? And then we're just stuck in our menus for a little bit.
It was like, do I put the ring on and then talk? No, okay, talk to the guy. And then they're like, no,
Yeah.
you have to be wearing the ring. And I was like, I thought I was wearing the ring. I was like, oh, maybe we have to click the stone?
Yeah.
Like, it's like we have to do it in the shrine tomorrow. That's what it says. I was like, do I click the shrine and then put the ring? No. Talk to him, shrine, ring, shrine, hip. No.
We're just trying to figure out this ring thing. And I'm like, man, I'll put it in my quick menu. And then I put it in my quick menu and I'm like trying to like just press anything that'll make it work. And we're in front of the priest and we're like, he's just looking at us like, what? What are you doing? And Manda's deep in her menu. And then as I'm trying to like futz around with the quick menu, I accidentally hit someone with a fireball. I hit the priest with a fireball. I'm like, oh no.
And this is Elder Scrolls Online. So you can actually injure the NPCs.
Oh.
So this isn't like, oh, very funny. This is like everyone in the temple starts running after Troy's orc character.
The priest is like, guards, and then the guards come running in, and I start going to like the second floor of the chapel. I'm like fighting my way out of these guards. I took down like 2 of them. Meanwhile, Manda is still in her menu like, is it this? Or that? And just chaos is just erupting in this chapel.
Troy is
temple.
gone for like a good 15 minutes. Like, and it's just me sitting on a bench having figured it out, waiting for him to come back. Which for like the scenario of our playing together is like, this is my character that always knows what's going on, and that's the guy who's just hitting things, and she's just like, I'll just wait. He'll be back eventually.
You're the Donald Glover, and he's the people running around with pizza on fire and everything. Yeah, okay.
It was a slaughter. I got outside. I had to like pay a bunch of money to like get I had a bounty on me by the end of it. I killed all these guards and a priest. I had to pay all this money. You know what? Hey, weddings expensive. Am I right?
They're very expensive.
One way or another, they get you. Came back in, and she's just sitting there, and we're like, well, I love you.
You gonna try it again?
Let's not talk about what just happened. Let's do this. And then when it happened, we bonded, and it made it did a thing.
Yeah.
It was
It was
something
cute.
dumb too. It wasn't like I want to say it wasn't obvious, and I don't remember what it was, but it was something like, oh, press B instead of X or something.
Yeah.
It was just like, oh, we're dumb. We're
Oh
both
my
dumb.
gosh. So in the end, I would say a pretty traditional orc wedding.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
absolutely. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
If at least 4 people don't die at an orc wedding, did you even have one?
Yeah.
Did you even have one?
Yeah.
Thank you. Gosh. Yeah, no other wedding will ever compare to that one for me.
That's amazing. Yeah. No, thank you guys so much. I'm glad I asked that question. Well, now let's move on to our. We're gonna have a little bit of a tribute this week for you guys that don't know. There is an indie video game legend that passed away last week, and I think you guys are going to be talking about some of his games and some of his life, right?
Yeah. Sorry to come in with the bummer, y'all, but yeah. So Fahmi, he's an indie developer based in Jakarta, Indonesia. Been working in the game industry for like 10, 11 years now. He's worked with Toge Productions and Polykinesia, game designer, programmer, game journalist, narrative designer, and much more stuff. He recently passed away. He was 32.
Wow.
Which is just sucks. It just sucks.
So young.
Manda saw kind of a tribute, or his sister broke the news on his Twitter, and then the production companies that he's been involved with had statements to kind of let the rest of us know. And Manda let me know you were like, hey, it was the writer, designer, director of Coffee Talk.
Oh, wow.
Which is a breakout indie hit. And then I remembered, I was like, oh yeah, that's a game that I also played. Or I played his game after that this year. I didn't even know they were related, those two games. Okay. And so we both realized we had played a game from this developer. So we wanted to just talk about those games and just say like, hey, like what our experience is with those, in a way to be like, hey man, thanks for making some awesome games here.
Nice.
Before Coffee Talk, this guy, he worked at Gameloft, which is like that conglomerate that kind of makes, I did not say conglomerate correctly at all. But you know what? I don't care. Take
just
that, conglomerates. Gameloft pretty much makes like every mobile game it's ever existed.
Gotcha.
Like they are just you go to their games list, it's just thousands long, and it's all like Despicable Me, Kingdom Rush, or something like what?
That is totally a real game.
So he worked there, got his foot in the door in gaming. He did a lot of debugging and whatnot, but started doing some writing and games writing and editing on the side, until he got that notable breakout hit, which was Coffee Talk with Togi Productions. Well, you played that, Manda. Can you tell us about some Coffee Talk?
I've definitely talked about Coffee Talk on the podcast before, and it's fairly unique, even from the standard of indie games. Is you're a barista and you're working in a little coffee shop, and the whole pull of the game is that you're just listening to other people talk about their lives and their problems, and how they interact with you, and the stories that you engage with is based on how you treat them. So it's kind of in a beautiful way a game about empathy. About like, are you going to listen to them talk about their problems, and then after they do, like, are you going to remember their coffee order? Like, are you going to take the time to like engage or in what they're saying? And it's more than just like option A and option B. It's more about like, do you remember, and like how are you how are you engaging with them? And they all have really cute, sweet stories. So they'll come in and you'll just like organically talk about what's going on, or like you'll be like, hey, I couldn't help it over here, and then you'll make them like a latte, and then you go to do the latte art, which I'm so bad at. And
so you're actually doing like the latte?
Yeah. So this is actually really adorable. So in the game you have a bunch of different ingredients. They unlock over time. So when you first start, you basically have like coffee and tea, and you can't put anything in it. And then as the game goes on, you get green tea, and then different like you get cocoa, and you get
cocoa.
Yeah, you get like
getting
milk,
dangerous in this coffee shop. I see
honey and lemon, and you kind of experiment and you put different things together. And what's really adorable is that was one of Fahmi's contributions to the game. Is he likes to do that. So this is something I learned on the Twitter. Is like secretly he likes to experiment with different teas and coffees and put different things in it. And this is his way of like trying to introduce that to the rest of the world, of being like, hey, this is fun, and you guys should try it.
Hey, why not hot cocoa and some green tea? Why not? You should do it.
But it'll be like maybe coffee, but instead of like just creamer, which everyone does, it's like coffee, but maybe like some lemon and honey. And it's like, and it actually tastes really good. But just like maybe try it. Maybe try it.
So pretty much like with coffee and tea, you do that thing when you get to like the soda machine where you just put everything in there.
You only can do so many ingredients. I think you're limited to like 4 different ingredients.
Good.
But,
good for me.
Yes, you can't put everything
I would just make a monster every time.
But they have like a little menu in the game, and it'll remind you what different combinations are. And then someone will come in and be like, hey, I want something kind of spicy. And you're like, okay, let me go to my menu and see if there's like
so
a
they
spicy.
don't explicitly tell you, hey, give me a or sometimes they won't explicitly tell you.
Hey, I want a chai latte.
You have some room for interpretation.
Yeah.
Oh, that's fun.
That's great.
What if you like get their coffee like wrong?
They're usually not too upset with you, and it's not wrong. It's usually just like, hey, that's not really what I wanted. And depending on the character, some characters will just be like, hey, this is great anyway, and then some characters will be like, meh, you could have been better. No one's got.
There's that one coffee person who just, you can never get it right, even if you're following it to the letter.
No, they do.
I don't know. I think I'd be kind of upset if I was like, I want a black coffee, and they're like, here's a green tea with honey. It's like, I'm going to be kind of angry about this. I'm just going to put that out there.
Yeah.
I am not okay.
One of the hooks that I remember, well, visually, I think it was just really stunning, but there was some really interesting character design. Like you're not just serving people, you're serving like vampires and orcs, but yet it still takes place in Seattle. Which I love.
Fahmi was really into like 90s anime, so it's so, despite the fact that it's not pixel art, but it's got kind of that vibe to it. But it's also, he said it had a very 90s anime vibe because he was really into that kind of thing. But it is like werewolves and vampires, and there's like I don't want to say like a squid girl. She's definitely like aqua themed, like merfolk.
Oh,
What's the guy? The guy in the swamp.
Like
Swamp
Atlantean?
Thing.
Oh. Little
so
Cthulhu?
No, more like Swamp Thing, but Atlantean, yeah. Like, not like drippy and gross, but like the little fin ears and this stuff. It's
That's
very
great.
cute.
That's such a great idea. And Coffee Talk also has a bomb ass soundtrack.
I bought their soundtrack on vinyl. It is a
Wow.
good soundtrack.
Yeah.
It's
no
also
joke.
free on Spotify if anyone would like to listen to it.
Yeah. Aren't they doing a special promotion right now with Coffee Talk?
They are. So if you have Coffee Talk already, then I would say you should buy it again. They have it on a bunch of different platforms. But if anyone buys Coffee Talk, they are giving some of the proceeds of the game to Fahmi's family.
Oh, that's
so you
great.
can buy it on Steam, PlayStation, Switch, and Xbox. So
Nice.
if you have it already, buy it again. And if you don't have it, then check it out. It's definitely worth your time.
Yeah.
Agreed.
So after this breakout hit with Coffee Talk, Fahmi he departed from Togi Productions and went independent. Made his own company called Famitsu. His name is Fahmi. He just made it Famitsu. Very nice. Very nice. Very nice pun. And started kind of making his own thing. What he would do as an independent person is he would create the idea and the writing, and then find a developer to just give him the manpower to make those games. So the next game he made was called What Comes Next. That's a game that came out in 2020, but had a wide release in 2021 around April. Okay. I didn't even really hear about this until the end of the year when I was looking at everyone's like best indie games of the year list, and I saw this game on there and was like, oh, I haven't played that. Oh, it's on the Switch. Oh, I have to go stand in a COVID line for 2 hours. This is that one day. I think you told me where the COVID line is. And you're outside. You're just out there for hours. I'm like, you know what? It's a good day for a Switch game, just to make sure I'm good. And I popped this game on, and it's great. It's this indie side-scrolling narrative-focused game. You play as this young lady called Vivi, who is on a subway and is kind of insecure, and you kind of feel like she's just kind of down in the dumps. And she falls asleep, and when she wakes up, she's still on this train, but there's just spirits everywhere.
Oh.
And she's like, oh, well, I guess that was quite the sleep. She talks to the attendant, and the attendant's like, what are you doing here? She's like, well, I guess I'm, on the trip. And the attendant's like, no, you're still alive. You shouldn't be here. Wait right here. Unfortunately, we can't go back. You're just going to have to see this out. We're going to get to the end of this train ride, and then we're going to bring you back. In the meantime, I don't know. You can sit, or you can, talk to some people. And that's the premise of the game. You go car to car talking to these different spirits about their life and what happened. And yes, they all have passed away, and it's like that kind of idea, and kind of dealing with those heavy themes. But it's still heartwarming. It's still light. I think we should the graphics that were in Coffee Talk are definitely apparent in this game.
Gotcha.
And I think if you followed his Twitter, you saw a little bit of this. There's a nice anime vibe to the look of both of the games. But I almost think, I don't know if you agree with this, but I kind of see it as like lo-fi anime.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
It's not in your face anime. It's not, big.
You wouldn't look at it and be like, that's anime. But
Right.
you can see like the inspiration between
It's
like
softer.
They have one of the ladies in Coffee Talk has like this green like hairstyle, but it's like pointed to the side in the way that would be like very like Gundam Wing hairstyle.
Yeah, and it's all hand drawn, and there's just a beauty in the simplicity of it that I found very striking. They don't get bogged down with like hundreds of details or anything. They kind of find an art style that evokes more emotion than detail.
Yeah.
That I really like those vibes. So yeah, the narrative of this game is the gameplay. It's not even as active as Coffee Talk. You're not actually like puzzle solving. You're just talking to all these different denizens of this train, and the train is kind of like what's that sci-fi movie where like every train is like a different ecosystem? Snowpiercer.
Yeah, Snowpiercer.
They live on that train, right?
Yeah.
So the train is kind of like that. The first car is just, hey, this guy got run over by a car, and it's just like, where am I? What happened? Oh man, or something like that. Or like some other things that are a little more heavy or a little lighter. But then like the next car are like a bunch of animals, and it's not just like pets and stuff like that. It's like, oh, here's that lion that just got the old lion who like did his thing.
Aww.
And is now like nobly going into the next realm. And lions, giraffes, elephants, you talk to all of these animals, insects, and just be like, what was your life? And he's like, I have no idea. What's alive? Like, it's really smart. It's really fun.
Yeah, me talking to you is longer than I was alive. What do you mean?
It's really curious, and also like it's a human experiencing this. So they have little quirks that happen when you come across an animal. Some of them understand names, some of them don't understand names. They're like, what? Or like gender and things like that. They're like, what?
They write the cat really well.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the cat's like mean.
The cat's
super mean.
In their mind is like the master of the universe, and you're just there to be around them. And it's very nice.
Nice.
And there's actually one train car that's plants and vegetation, and I've never experienced a writing or anything where like you're talking to this flower. And what was this flower's life like? What are its thoughts now that its life is done? Like it's and all types of trees, jungles and jungle vines and whatnot. I was like, that's when this game for me, it went from like oh great, like interesting, heartwarming, kind of heavy, kind of fun. But when it got to that cart with the plants, I was like, this is remarkable. Like I would never have thought to give sentience to all of these different animals and plants, and then make everyone kind of meaningful and different, and not human, but like it was fascinating.
Nice.
It ends really heartwarmingly, and you kind of follow this young woman's Vivi kind of like find herself and find her meaning. There's definitely vibes of like It's a Wonderful Life.
Oh, okay.
Where you kind of see like, life is good. There's lots to be grateful for.
Gotcha.
I know this would be too expensive, but it would be lovely if they could put him in the game in like post. So you walk in the train and you get to and he's just sitting.
Oh,
it was cat. When you mentioned him passing, like the idea that this was the last game of his that he made, and it has directly to do with grief and passing on and what the next step is like, or the mediary step, the middle step. I just, playing that game makes me actually feel better, I guess, in a way, because of the way that this game is phrased, and it's his thoughts in this game of how he views passing to the next life. It's really beautiful what this game does with such a heavy subject, and it's not overbearing. There's lightness to it. There's quirkiness into it. There's love there, So, yeah, it's a beautiful thing that he made. There's one more game. Because there's a game that he was currently working on that I'm sure the company that he's working on with will continue it going forward, and it's called Afterlife EP, which is a narrative slice of life, which I think all of them have a little bit of that slice of life feel. Music game, and it's the same idea of like dealing with heavy issues of like life loss and humor, and not all light, not all heavy. I mean some light, some light parts. And it should be very interesting, I think.
Okay.
To make that music.
They're also making a Coffee Talk episode 2. So if you haven't
that's right.
subscribed, no.
It was like a DLC.
Wish list. Yeah. No, it's not a DLC. It's a new game.
Oh.
But if you haven't wish listed that yet, it is on Steam and you can wish list it.
All right.
Nice.
Right on. Well, if you get a chance, go check out Muhammad Fahmi. He goes by Fahmi because he has a nice little blurb saying like, hey, Indonesians don't really have a concept of first and last names. Just call me Fahmi.
Nice.
So go check him out. Go check out some of the games that he's made, and check out some of the companies he's worked at. They do a lot of really great work that I think will really do something to you, make you think, make you feel good.
Super grateful that we were able to engage with his content for as long as he was making it.
Yeah. Agreed.
Yeah. So farewell to our dragon.
Absolutely. Thank you guys for doing that. And yeah, I didn't know, like I knew of his games. I just didn't know what they were about, the story details of them and stuff like that. So yeah, thank you guys for sharing that. So now that will bring us to our news segment this week. And we're going to cover some news that has come out the last week or two, because we didn't really have very heavy news segments.
Yeah, hit us with it.
But let's see here. Let's start off with something I know Hassel's gonna love, and that is CD Projekt Red has announced a new Witcher game is in development.
I want so badly for this to be like a Harry Potter Hogwarts style game where you get in there and you make your own Witcher, and then they let you choose your Witcher school. We were talking to our friends on I Forgot I Owned That podcast about this, and Bianca and I are both very excited for the idea of being like, I want to be School of the Cat, and I want to look like this, and also women can be Witchers because the phone game says they can.
Yes.
So listen to BCG Projekt Red.
Yes,
this has to happen this way. Also, I wouldn't be upset if you played a Ciri. That would be my other option.
Agreed.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, you'd be way more powerful than
than
Geralt.
It'd be a different game.
It would be interesting too, because I think if you played as Ciri, I think it'd be almost kind of like a Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart type game, because you could be traveling through different dimensions.
Oh,
at
right,
will.
right.
I mean, not that you would, but that's the possibility because Ciri does have that ability.
I love Ciri as a character, but when I was playing The Witcher 3, the Ciri parts I just did not enjoy.
Yeah.
I just didn't. I don't know. It didn't resonate with me.
Gotcha.
I enjoyed her story and her as a character, and I liked like the things that she was going through, but I didn't want to play Witcher for teleporting. I wanted to play like double sword,
Gruff guy.
slashy stab monster kind of thing.
Yeah.
That's exciting. I have no idea what they're going to make.
No.
I'm sure there's more books. But they took the series in a way where the books didn't even go. So I'm very curious what this next Witcher will be. If I had to guess, it'll probably be a prequel.
Yeah, they definitely still work with Sapkowski when they talk about the games. So I mean, maybe he knows that they diverted in the same way that like there's going to be the Game of Thrones series and the Game of Thrones book, and they're going to be different. Maybe there's going to be like the Witcher book, the Witcher video game, and the Witcher TV series, and they're all going to have their own timelines that do not cross or
please.
intersect.
Yes, please.
I'm still fine with that.
Give me all the Witcher any way you want.
Or they do intersect with series. All the different series meet up. And they're like, hey,
shoot.
what's going on with this?
Oh, she hasn't told Geralt that she's met like 100 Geralts.
Nope.
Oh, that's why Geralt comes back to life, because it's just a different Geralt.
Into the Witcherverse.
I'm also down for that. But yeah, they haven't given any details like you guys said. So yeah, I'm interested to see where they go with it.
But big news.
Big news.
Coming off the Cyberpunk 2077.
It's going to be like 5 years from now.
Yeah,
but-
yeah.
Oh, God, yeah.
I hope. I can only hope.
Yeah.
Take
Yeah.
all the time you need.
Well, the other interesting bit is that they're also moving off their own in-game engine, and they're going to Unreal Engine 5.
Which should help.
Which should help a lot with
Yeah.
the weird bugs they've always had in their games.
Yeah, Unreal Engine 5, who had a state of play, so to speak.
I think it was called a State of Unreal.
State of Unreal.
And they showed off some more games that, or at least just the lighting tech specifically, which looks
That's big.
ridiculous.
Because I feel like right now the graphics we're seeing are like the best that developers can do with the existing software. But with Unreal Engine 5, that's going to be the next level of looking of everything. Everything. Like that's when we're going to see like true next gen when that debuts, which is not too far away.
No, because it's already you can already download it and start working in Unreal Engine 5. It's just it's going to take a while for games to come out on it.
Yeah.
Because I know they showed, because they were talking about The Witcher, and then they were also talking about a new Tomb Raider game.
That's right.
Joe's going to be happy.
Yeah.
Yeah, the next Tomb Raider game
is going to be
Unreal Engine 5.
And I think it says it's going to be like a debut game for Unreal Engine, which is fantastic. Hell yeah, Tomb Raider.
Yeah.
Tomb Raider was like debut for the PlayStation for those graphics back in the day when it was like, look at these blocks, they're amazing. These blocks are blowing my mind. So good on Lara Croft coming back to usher us into the next generation.
Agreed. And then we're also going to be getting a new game from the makers of Friday the 13th and Predator Hunting Grounds.
Oh, great.
Which are both, the asymmetrical online games that they've
it's
had.
hide and go seek.
Yeah, hide and go seek.
They have made hide and go seek the game twice, and I love it.
Exactly. And the studio is called Ilphonic, and they have announced the game called Ghostbusters Spirits Unleashed.
Ooh.
They're making a Ghostbusters game.
Ghostbusters game where
It's perfect.
It's perfect.
You have 4 people who are playing the Ghostbusters and then 1 person playing the ghost.
Exactly.
And you can be different ghosts.
Yeah.
It's going to be a little bit like, what is that? Fright Night, Death Night, the popular one on
Dead by Daylight?
Dead by Daylight,
Yeah.
where you play a bunch of different villains.
Oh, yeah.
So to speak.
For me, I just went back to the way when the Wii U came out and you had that great Nintendo Land game for the Luigi's Mansion.
Oh,
and
God,
you
that
had
was so
everybody
good.
playing with a Wiimote, playing as the character, and then you had one person with the pad playing as the ghost.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun.
That was very good.
It was, and I love how they've already shown off the different gameplay elements that you can do. Like, because the game isn't about killing the other players, which I actually really enjoy. It's about frightening the bystanders enough so they fail. Like,
That's fun.
and so you can like inhabit like what is it like? If you're a hotel, you can inhabit the chandelier and shake it around.
Fantastic.
You can, one of the bellhop carts. Like,
Yes,
you can
please.
do different things.
You have to frighten the bystanders enough that the manager of the hotel fires the Ghostbusters.
Pretty much,
That's very funny.
So yeah, I think it looks like it's a lot of fun. Hopefully it takes off kind of like Friday the 13th, because Friday the 13th actually took off pretty well. They just lost the rights to make more of it.
They made that game before they were popular.
Yeah.
And and once it became really popular, was the WB was like, no.
I think it was the
don't use our stuff anymore.
Yeah, it was either WB or it was the guy who
Oh,
wrote
the
it.
main creator.
Yeah, the main creator or the producer, one of the
Yeah.
two. Yeah, they have like two different rights,
Yeah.
and they couldn't use some of it or like whatever.
It's
yeah,
like, hey, this
it
was
weird.
fine when you weren't like making money off of this. But listen, I would play that day one. Well, maybe not day one. I'm sure there's gonna be some network issues. But day two,
Day
I'm there.
two, boom, there you go.
Maybe Friend Zone comes back for this game.
maybe.
Friend zone.
And you're gonna love it too, Troy, because you can make your own character.
Yes, I'm making the dorkiest Ghostbuster possible, even dorkier than Irgon or whatever.
I
his
don't
name
know.
is.
I don't know if that's possible, but I'm interested in seeing Melvis as.
Oh, my Animal Crossing character. Oh, the dopiest
man.
haircut.
Yeah. Amazing. And then one of the things I would like to, this is personally for me, which is Horizon Forbidden West has finally patched in something I was complaining about that the first game had that the second one didn't.
What's that?
You can now not have to stop when collecting things on the ground.
Oh,
Yeah.
Brian, I'm so happy for you.
That was like a minute 2 thing that I was in the game and I was like, what is Aloy
Yeah.
doing? Why is she stopped? Oh no.
The first game, she would just swipe and keep moving.
Just swipe, keep going. Just keep
But
going.
She kind of gives a little bend now.
She
which
bends and
I got
snaps.
into it.
Yeah.
it was Red Dead Online broke me, or Red Dead Redemption 2 broke
Yeah.
me with animations for picking things up. Nothing will ever be that long, so I'm just like, we're good.
Red Dead Redemption was like, you will individually pick off every
Yeah.
mint leaf. That only the good ones.
Wait, I missed one. There it is.
Walk them back, put them in the correct pouch in your saddle, which is going to be the button you least expect.
Hated it at first, loved it by the end. But yeah, that's nice though. They added that.
Yeah, it's nice. It was like
Might
an
as well.
unseen thing as well. It's like, oh, hey, here's a new patch, and this is
You're
something.
picking up thousands of things in that game.
Oh my god,
so.
yeah, you were literally picking up thousands of things in that game.
Sometimes you have to pick up things while you're fighting too. So
Yeah.
running past it would be
Exactly.
important. Yeah.
Killed me. Literally in that game. And then finally, we mentioned this in a previous podcast, which was a remixed version of a Kirby song was up for a Grammy this year. And well, hey, the song
Oh my gosh.
Meta Knight's Revenge by the 8-Bit Big Band actually won for Best Arrangement, Instrumental, or A Cappella.
Oh hell yeah!
It's so great.
Oh man, what was Kirby's acceptance speech like?
He ate them all.
Yeah.
He opened his mouth to say thank you, and it was too late for everyone in the front row.
A lot of people actually thought that his acceptance speech sucked.
Can you imagine he goes up to accept the award and then he eats whoever's giving
Yep.
and then he looks fabulous.
Oh, yeah.
He's got like a sequin dress, a little
It's like
tiara.
it's like Billy
Perfect.
Porter or someone, just like decked out, looking good.
I would pay for a Billy Porter Kirby.
Oh my gosh, the most money,
All of the money.
the most money.
He would be the most fabulous.
Oh my
By
gosh.
far.
Yeah.
And somehow it would still be Billy Porter though. Like Billy Porter is so like larger than life that like Kirby would try to like become it. And it's just like no, still Billy Porter.
Yes, Billy Porter just becomes more Kirby.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
Kirby's real weirded out by this the first time ever.
Did you see what he presented in this year in the Grammys at all?
I don't remember.
It was a
briefly, though.
bright pink.
Oh yes, bright pink suit, right?
Yeah, it was a bright pink suit.
And,
So I
like,
can only
sharp
imagine
lipstick.
I can only imagine him like if Kirby ate him, he's just looking like Majin Buu from Dragon Ball Z.
Oh.
He just gets a little more plump. He's just pink. But yeah, great for video games.
Congrats
yeah.
there.
So good job, 8-Bit Big Band. Man, that's a lot of bees. So that'll do it for this week's news. And now it's going to bring us to our last segment, which we're bringing back the tasty topic, everyone.
The tastiest topic.
All of the tasty
All the nom
topics.
nom noms.
The noms.
Oh my
The
gosh!
nom
Remember when
noms.
we used to have a banter where I would talk about eating something for like
No,
3
I don't,
minutes?
I don't remember
Don't
that.
remember
None
it
of
at
us
all.
remember that.
Doesn't even ring a bell.
It's going to come back one of these days,
To
Joe.
intro tasty topic.
Man, do you remember
Gosh.
that? I don't remember that.
Brian, have you ever?
Brian, so I was at the market today.
You don't say.
Yeah, I was looking for something to nosh on.
Brian, this
It
is
was-
a story that happened to me today because I didn't prepare anything.
It was a bit that started was like 15 seconds and was cute, but by the end of that run was like
3 minutes.
3 minutes and just you and me. Only
Hey,
you
wait,
and I
wait,
still
we
thought that
added
was
in
funny.
the nom nom noms at
We
the
did.
end.
We
Okay,
did.
we
Yeah.
were
Nom, 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 nom.
supportive in nom nom nomming.
Yeah.
That's true.
And by the way, Manda, you saying a bit that we just came up with today can describe about 3/4 of this podcast.
But, hey, we do a lot of preparation.
We do, but sometimes. But yeah, this week we're going to be bringing back the tasty topic, and this week we're going to be talking about Sony's Game Pass, if you will. It's not called that; it's called something different.
It is called that,
but it's basically the Game Pass. This is Sony going, no, we don't like it. No, we don't like it. No, we don't like it. All right, fine. Looks like Microsoft's making enough money on this where we can do the same type of thing.
Sony's like, no one's buying PlayStation now, and we want them to. So
Yeah.
what if?
What if we do PlayStation Now, but we don't? So it's still going to be called PlayStation Plus, and then they're adding on additional words after it. So what they're doing is they're doing the Xbox One thing, where there's like the Xbox Series X, the Xbox Series S, the Xbox, One X. They're just doing that, but with PlayStation
trying to
Plus.
I feel like this
Confuse
is
us.
a bit that needs to happen in Spaceballs.
Right?
Like,
It's just they had it was perfect. You have a PlayStation 1 and a PlayStation 2 and a PlayStation 3.
It's the best.
It makes sense. I feel like they hired someone from Xbox's marketing department when they
Right.
named these. Like, well, PlayStation Now, what are we gonna have? Like silver, gold, and platinum? No. We're gonna make them as confusing as possible.
That checks.
It does.
I mean,
Yeah.
because real quick, before you jump into
Go for
that,
it.
for everyone who doesn't know quite what Game Pass is, it's a game service where you pretty much pay monthly, and then you're just have access to a bunch of games.
Yeah,
to
it's like a
play
Netflix of games.
The Netflix of games is the shorthand of it, and it's
Yeah.
been what I think I would say is like the future. I think like this is where gaming
and
goes.
you get Game Pass on Xbox. And Sony had an equivalent called PlayStation Now.
Correct.
But it's just not very popular.
It's
I
not.
saw something on the internet that said if they have 12 million people on PlayStation Plus, which is their online service, only 3 million of those have PlayStation Now. And
Yeah.
they wanted to fix that.
and on the side, Game Pass is just blowing up. More and more
Oh,
people
yeah.
are getting in more like all the
We
time.
don't own
so
an Xbox, we have Game Pass. So
that's how you see. That's how you know. That's how you know.
we
It's
own
big.
an Xbox because of Game Pass.
yeah.
Oh, yeah,
See,
that's
it's-
because of it. Yeah.
It's such a good deal that there's been a lot of pressure on PlayStation to find something that would give Game Pass something to compete with, and
Exactly.
this is their answer.
This is their answer. So there's 3 different levels. So you have PlayStation Plus Essential, which is just PlayStation Plus as it is right now. You get access to be online and play with your
and
friends.
every month you get like 3 games. They're
Yeah,
usually
exactly.
from a back catalog. They're not super old, but they're not super new.
No,
but
but sometimes they are actually. They've actually
Oh,
released
yeah,
a
that's
couple of
true.
games where that come out
That's
that
true.
month, which has been nice.
Yeah.
And it's the games that they normally are like,
But-
hey, we're going to take a chance on this.
And you only have a month to download those games.
Correct.
if you have it.
Exactly. So it's just basically PlayStation Plus as is. Still remains $60 a year.
That's
Boom.
what we're used to.
That's what we're used to. Then there's PlayStation Plus Extra,
Ooh, hello extra.
hitting us up with the Extra, which adds a catalog of 400 games from PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5.
Okay.
We don't have to dive into this,
No.
but I would like to just emphasize the fact that plus and extra mean the same thing.
Right?
They should have called it PlayStation Plus Plus.
Right? PlayStation Plus Squared.
Oh my gosh, that's the best. Yes, there's
are
3
you-
tiers: PlayStation Plus, PlayStation Plus Plus, PlayStation Plus Plus.
Plus Plus.
It's like PlayStation Plus Extra more. You're welcome. Like
Oh, PlayStation, you're welcome.
Oh man, I like PlayStation Essential. Like
Yeah.
that's like it's a
Yeah.
basics.
Yeah,
That
that's-
to me is a nice way of saying
But
basic.
but it's PlayStation Plus Essential.
Yeah.
PlayStation
Right.
Essential better.
Yeah.
Agreed, yeah.
I see.
so this, like I said, adds the 400 games. It's just
Yeah.
from PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5.
No word on what games those are.
I have no
really,
idea what the
just-
games are right now. It just says that they're from the PlayStation Studios catalog and as well as third-party partners.
Okay, great. So it's just,
Yeah,
it'll
yeah.
be the games you played over the past couple of years. If you
Exactly.
missed a couple, you can pick them up, probably play them.
You said
Exactly.
there's 400?
Yeah, 400
400
games.
titles, yeah.
In asterisks and all other jazz. And this is $100 a month. $100.
Whoa.
$100 a
A
year.
year.
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
$99.99 a year.
Okay.
Is for this. And then they have PlayStation Plus Premium.
Ooh, premium.
Which provides all the benefits of Essential and Extra, as well as it adds 340 additional games onto it.
Okay.
But these games are all from like the back catalog. This is like PlayStation 3 games, PlayStation 1, 2, PSP
hello.
games.
Wow. Oh man, it's hard to get PSP games.
Yeah. So, and then also for like brand new games, they're going to have time limited game trials, kind of like how EA does with some of their
like early
EA
access.
Yeah, no, it's just like, hey, you can play 10 hours of like the new game that's coming out this month.
Okay,
like you can do that. So, but that's that, and that's $120 yearly.
120, so 20 extra bucks than the second tier.
Correct.
And the second tier is 40 more bucks than the first tier.
Exactly.
The tier thing is a little confusing.
Yes.
I do understand why, I guess. It's something different. I'll give it that much. This definitely doesn't look like Game Pass anymore.
Correct.
It's something, but I feel like they may get lost in who's going to buy what. I don't know.
I think it's good because I'm just, as a player, I don't really like playing old games. I don't go back and play them. I love the nostalgia. There are very few exceptions, but I don't have that nostalgia people have of like, oh, this is a PS1 game and I'm going back and play it again.
Yeah.
Usually that's not me. So like, I feel like that middle tier is much more my speed. And the idea of like, if I had to choose between what I have now and something that's double the price, then I probably wouldn't pay that. But at that middle tier I might do. So I like, for my own, I feel like that works.
Yeah. For me, I feel like it's much more like the movie theater butter popcorn. Like you go to the popcorn, you're like, all right, great, I can get a small for this, I can get a medium for this, but then a large is like $1 more.
Yeah.
It's like, why don't I just get the large?
I'm not gonna eat all that.
Yeah, I'm not gonna eat all that, but it's $1 more. Why don't I just do it? Because maybe I will. Maybe today's the day I'm gonna do it. So I feel like that's what it is with this, where like the second tier version is $100,
right.
but then that last tier is $20 more for a
Right.
year. So for me, I'm like, maybe I'll play one of these like PlayStation 1 games I haven't thought about in a while, and that's worth my $20 more a year. And I think that's kind of how they, in my mind, I think that's why they priced it the way they did. We're like, hey, it's $20 more, just do it.
But all of this caveats on the type of games that they come out
Exactly.
with. If they release
Big
game
time.
list and it's 400 games that I don't care about, then it's like, no, I'm just going to stick with what I got, and I'm sorry. Because that's the problem with PlayStation now is
Wow, you really should be on the marketing team
right?
for this.
Should.
So good at this.
All these good ideas for PlayStation.
So it's not then, it's now.
Yeah, the PlayStation now. Plus is just
Plus
where
and
it's
now.
we don't own it. We could afford it.
Yeah.
We're not interested because for the price, it's not worth it for the games that we get.
Yeah.
But if they release the list and I'm like, oh man, I really want to play that and that and that and that and that,
then yeah, it'd be something to go for. I'm Game Pass on Xbox didn't necessarily launch with the most fervor either, because it was also confusing. It was like, okay, what am I really getting out of this? They didn't really have that first party day one exclusive
Same day and date
thing happening yet.
they still have that confusing thing where you can play some games on the Xbox and some games on the PC, and sometimes it's hard to tell which is which.
Which is which. But how much is Game Pass?
Game Pass right now,
$20 a month?
it's $10 a month for the base.
For the Xbox, right?
Xbox or PC.
Or the PC, if you have,
So if you want to get just PC Game Pass, it's $10, or if you want to get the Xbox Game Pass, it's $10. But if you get the Xbox Game Pass Ultimate, which is $15, it includes both PC and Xbox Game Pass, as well as Xbox Games Gold.
So this isn't. I mean, that's a good deal to get all the gold and whatnot. But as far as the basic like Game Pass, like if you just want a Game Pass, that is the same price as the highest tier.
Exactly.
For the PlayStation, I guess, Plus Premium. So if you're a PlayStation person like myself, and you're just like, well, I want whatever is PlayStation's version of this. You won't be losing money.
No, it's the same price.
By getting the highest tier of PlayStation's thing.
Correct.
That's interesting because that for Game Pass, like the highest tier is $15.
Correct.
I wonder if this will affect Game Pass, because Game Pass is like the only option right now. But if Sony also has an option, I wonder if some of the third parties that were going to go to Game Pass is like, oh, well, but I like working with Sony. So I wonder if this will dilute their offering, or if this is just going to be any developer that isn't on Game Pass is going to go over to Sony.
I don't personally think it's going to make much of a difference, because I think the main thing that Game Pass will have over it, and I say over it, it's not, it's just dependent on if you want to play these games, is the same day and date releases are literally why we bought an Xbox.
Yeah,
so
Horizon.
I look at it as on a personal point, and I'm like, I will probably pick up the PlayStation thing as well, just to see it, just to give it a whirl, because it's just because it's fun to. I like to play old games, so maybe some of the old games I like will be on there. But ultimately, I also think about Nintendo and have everybody freaked out about that expansion pack that was like, oh no, another $35 a year, and how awful that is. And it's like, I don't know, guys. It doesn't seem that bad if you want to play just one of those games that would normally cost you like $100 if you were going to buy it online.
Also, we divided our Nintendo subscription
Exactly.
by 7 people, so it
It's
was
so great.
nothing. It was nothing.
It's so perfect.
The fact that for $10 I was able to, I didn't, but I will, like, have Halo Infinite, like the flagship game of Xbox, the day it came out, is something that I don't think PlayStation can afford or do.
They
yeah,
don't, and
they
they're
flat
not
out
going
said they
to.
wouldn't do it.
And I hear them, because they're the reason, one of the reasons why I think they kind of started pulling away and, you know, their sales or whatever of the PlayStation is because of those really strong first party titles: Spider-Man, God of War, Last of Us, Uncharted, the game we just played, Horizon. Like, people are going to dump the $70 or more individually to get these games one by one. Like, I don't, like, Microsoft has to be losing money on this, right?
So I think the reason that Microsoft still makes money is because it's they have so many people doing it now that they're getting, $100 million every single month just from this service. And so, but you have people that are a part of this that are like, well, I don't care about Halo Infinite. I care more so about Psychonauts 2. I care more about these other things, but you're still getting their money.
You're still getting that.
You're still getting their $10, even though they don't
Seems
care
like a
about
big
those games.
gamble.
I agree. I think it's an absolute huge gamble.
Interested to see how it affects everyone within the company. This very much feels like Walmart selling a shirt for $4, and it's like, okay, well, how can you afford to sell that shirt
Right?
for $4?
Do we
I
want
mean, maybe
to know
it's fine.
what you're doing behind the scenes?
Right,
Yeah.
right. Because like the money that it costs to develop that game, they have to make back, but then it doesn't cost them anything to deliver it. I mean, aside from like server space, which I suppose makes money. So I'd be interested to see like how this works mechanically.
There's like that potential money that they would have made if they were selling it individually that I think has to be taken into account, that they're not banking off of.
I guess Brian's argument is that if we had sold it physically, maybe we would have sold 10 copies of the game, but because we're selling it digitally this way, we sell 100 copies of the game, and that's more than the 10 we would have made at the regular price, so we're making more money in the long run.
Yeah.
But I'm not saying that's how it works, but I think that's that's the idea.
They did directly come out and say they do not want to diminish the way they make games by changing to the same day and date like Game Pass does. They didn't directly call out Game Pass or anything, but they were saying, we're not going to do that because it takes so much time and it's art, and we don't want to diminish the art that is being created by making it same day and date and not giving it its like moment in the sun that it deserves. And like for me, part of hearing that partially was, I would really like if you did, though, because you know how many more people would play whatever game it is, with the idea that all I'd have to do is buy 2 games a year. Actually, not even. I could buy 1 PS5 game and 1 PS4 game a year, and it would cost the same amount as having a year service of the highest grade of what you're doing, and you're not going to same day and date. I would definitely buy 2 games from you a year in a heartbeat. I do it a month sometimes.
So that's a lovely sentiment, the idea that like we need this art to have its own time.
Right.
But it has its own time whether or not I pay $70 for it or $10.
Bingo.
So I don't know if I agree with their sentiment of like, well, we would like our games to stand on their own. And I was like, well, don't release other games at the same time as this game, then it has its own time. But my credit card does not affect how artistic your games are.
Yeah. I really like the way that Xbox has been doing their Game Pass, because they have a lot of internal studios now. They've just been buying us so many different indie game studios out. And I love that they put them all on Game Pass, because a lot of them I would have never played if they weren't on Game Pass.
Right.
If I didn't have the ability to play that for free.
And
so I think that raises the studio for their next game.
As long as they're seeing the proceeds from you playing that game, then I think that's great.
I agree.
But if it's like exposure for your next game and then they don't get fun, but I guess Microsoft owning them is how they get their money. So I'll be interested to see if
I wonder what it's like, because I do totally think that right now it makes tons of sense, because it's the old adage of there's no competition, and then you're destroying your competition and purchasing your competition and making it so that nobody else can do this but you. And then by the end of it, you're just going to raise the rates because there's nobody else to fight with you about it.
Yeah.
You know, I feel like if they're also not paying those indie developers essentially what they would have been making on these games they would be releasing, I'm with you, man. I wish I knew how that works, how that shuffles out. I wonder.
I can't be positive or negative on it because I just don't know. But I would be really interested to see how that works in the background. If Sony can't afford it and Microsoft can, I wonder why.
Agreed. Yeah, because I believe.
I mean, we know why.
Microsoft.
Which is funny though, because
Sony's still
still bigger.
Microsoft is still a bigger company money wise.
overall,
Sony
Oh,
Sony,
yeah.
like
Yeah.
Microsoft's out way deeper pockets. I personally, my conspiracy is that they're just paying out of pocket. They're making up the difference themselves.
Yeah, because the thing is, I know with some indie developers, they're like, hey, listen, if you release your game on Game Pass, we'll give you like $200,000 or whatever it is. I think one of them did today that it was $200,000 that Microsoft offered them, and then if it does really well, we have different bonuses that are built in that if it reaches a certain amount of downloads or a certain amount of play time on Game Pass, that will give you more money. And so I believe that's what I remember in my brain. That's what it was for at least this one or two indie studios. That here's a big chunk of money to begin with, and then if you guys do well,
I think there's
more.
a path for it to really do right by the indie developers
Agreed.
with both of these things. But I am very interested to see what PlayStation does with its first party stuff. It's not going to put it out there, but I guess that's such a big thing for Game Pass and why people get it that I do wonder why people would switch over to PlayStation.
Agreed. I think they did list a couple of the games that
they could do like a delayed release. Like
I think that's what's going to.
Hey, buy this full price for a year, and then it'll be free on Game Pass the next year, or up 7 months. I don't know.
Yeah, because I think that's what they're going to be doing. Because they said at launch, we plan to include titles such as Death Stranding, God of War, Marvel Spider-Man, Miles Morales, the Mortal Kombat 11, and Returnal. Returnal is a big game that came out last year.
Yeah.
So I think that is them saying, hey, listen, maybe after a year we'll start putting these on. So if you're patient or if you don't care to buy, it's like you would normally
you'll get it for $10.
You'll get it for $10.
Okay, so this is biting about the video game industry, but basically they're going to put it on when it's working.
Pretty much, yeah.
So if you want to play a game when they're always working, just only play the games.
Exactly.
PlayStation.
But it's also interesting because like games such as God of War, Marvel Spider-Man, and Mortal Kombat 11, it's already included if you buy PlayStation 5. They already have it as part of the back catalog.
Yeah.
So like for me, that's like, well, that's not added value for me because I already own them.
Is Mortal Kombat on there?
Yeah, Mortal Kombat 11 is, I believe. Yeah.
I've had the ability to play that this whole time.
We should play. I
We
love
should
that game.
totally
Right?
play.
It's a good game.
Maybe it's
I
Mortal
enjoy
Kombat
it.
10, one of the two.
Okay.
But either way, though, it's like still some of those games you guys have announced, you already include
Right.
with
But
something for free.
only 5 of us have a PS5, Brian.
It's true. That's true. Only 5 in the entire world.
So, like, what's everyone else supposed to do? Us up here on our mountaintop.
I know, right?
On a kingdom.
I also want to say something kind of off topic is I think this week Xbox Series X's didn't immediately sell out when they were put online.
Oh,
so
okay.
like I think like Walmart, you could have bought it for like an entire day or two if you just went onto the website and you could have ordered it for normal price.
Wow, first time in a long time.
Yeah, same thing I think with Amazon. So I think it's at least as far as Xbox goes, the demand is starting to catch up. Exactly.
That's good.
So
That's
hopefully
good.
it's going to be the same for the PlayStation 5 soon. But there's always scalpers out there, and the bad part of it.
And I've seen a lot of Switch OLEDs if you want that.
Correct,
It's
yeah.
available.
We've seen a few here and there too. Yeah.
It's been nice. It's been nice out there. So yeah, well, it's interesting how the landscape's going to be changing. I know for a fact Nintendo's never going to do this because Nintendo doesn't
They
even
have
discount their games
They
that
don't
are
need
like
to.
7 years old.
They have always done their own thing, and they're fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
People are like, no.
Yeah. The thing they're doing right now is pretty much that anyway. The
The expansion, the
online,
Nintendo
online. Like, yeah, I'm playing N64 games and NES games, and I'm getting to relive my childhood and stuff. Like,
yeah, they're doing it in their own way.
Yeah.
That's just how they're going to be. So yeah, it's interesting. So we'll see how this goes forward. I'm looking forward to, like Manda said, what the games are going to be included. And yeah, it's going to be interesting. So y'all, I think that will do it for this week's episode. However, Troy still has some nice Ukraine developer news.
So we've been highlighting Ukrainian developers over the past month as the war is continuing to happen over there. But this week, actually, a news article caught my attention concerning 2 Twitch streamers, Ukrainian Twitch streamers. They go by Bulachka and Alina_DLN. What was very interesting that caught my eye is they were actually streaming during the bombings and things that were happening while it was active. So they would be on stream, and they were on like performing. They were on just like, hey, we just want you all to be here. Like, we're scared right now, and we want to be with our community, which is it's their job, and it's also their support. And it was just harrowing. I watched clips of that of those days where it's just like they're just there, they're talking, they're in their sweats, just chilling, and you just hear like a noise, and they're just like out. They just like go around, and they're just out the door, and it's just stream stays on that time until they come back. They were able to get out. They're out of the country now, and they did find a way to start streaming again. And they've gotten back to more or less their regular content as they would do. But I just thought that's something that I forgot. Like the games industry and how it works is very diverse.
Oh yeah.
And so there are people who are in the games industry on Twitch, for a living. They play games and talk to their audience for a living, as we've been trying to do for a little bit. Not as successful as them. We're getting there. We're getting there. You guys making it happen. You guys making it happen over here. But yeah, so I figured, hey, if you get a chance, go check them out. This is Bulachka and Alina_DLN. We'll put a link somewhere for them.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, we'll put that in the description.
And harrowing story, but glad that they're okay.
Well, thank you for bringing that to us, Troy. Yeah, it's interesting because, like you said, you think about developers, you think about all these other people, and then you forget, there's also just people on Twitch that are in every single country around the world.
YouTube content.
Yeah, YouTube content.
Journalists and games journalists and whatnot.
And to support the Ukrainians during this time, I ordered some stuff off of Etsy, and I got a bunch of messages back saying that they don't have any mail in the country at this time. And they're like, please don't cancel your order. Please wait for us. And it was like, oh, no, I ordered this to be supportive. Please take all of the time you want.
Yeah.
But the idea that people have their job is to, I create things and then I mail them out, and I can't mail things out right now is devastating.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think that will do it for this week's episode, everyone.
Okay.
You can always find us online on the Twitch and the Discord and the Twitters. Manda does a great job curating and definitely highlighting a lot of Ukrainian developers these last couple of months, which is sad to say. It's been months, or at least over a month, I should say. So check us out on there. But as always, my name is Brian.
My name is Troy.
I'm Manda.
And I'm Joe.
And we are
The Taste of Dragons.
Have a great week, everyone.
Thank you. Who wants an M&M?
The dark chocolate ones?
Yeah. Who wants their M&M but bitter? Do they make birthday cake M&Ms?
Yeah.
Taste of Dragons Gaming Podcast, a podcast for everyone's taste.